So for the warm-up, does anyone have any questions about what I'm wanting you to do?
Are those the same size as the before?
They're a little different size. Can you guys see the difference that are back there? This one's shorter, this one's longer.
Okay, so they're not.
Okay. You've got this thing? Or this was from GarageBand. You leave it with me today, and I got your guys' sorry. Okay, guys. If we look at these tuning forks real quick, I know it was hard to see the difference in length, so I'm glad you mentioned something. If we have the high pitch one, which is a little shorter than the low pitch one there, I was asking people to draw what the energy wave or sound wave looks like coming off of them. How many people, when they drew this, drew air particles? Raise your hand if you drew with like the little dots as air particles, okay? How many people drew it as like lines, more like the slinky, okay? So, what I was thinking is, would somebody want to come up that showed this with the air particle type drawing, where they show the wave of energy going through the air, so they use dots? Anyone want to show their drawing on the document camera? Okay, how about would anybody like to show one if they used lines to show the difference? It doesn't have to be fancy. I just thought it would be a good way we could confirm by seeing someone's example. Yeah, Tyler, come on up. Oh, I can zoom on this, the new one. So if anybody's got a tiny drawing, you can zoom that thing in. All right, Tyler, let's see.
I did drew the big one, and then I drew some small sound waves by it, and then I drew the high pitch one, the smaller one. I drew some more sound waves by it because it would be louder, and then the lower one, this one would be a lower pitch because it would have lower sound waves.
Okay. So you're showing these, it looks like closer together, and these ones further apart. Okay. So if we talk about high pitch versus low pitch, we'll see a difference in the spacing of the compressions. Okay. So did anyone draw it differently? I know just based on what I saw that there were some different ones too. Anybody else want to show?
Outdoor.
Yeah, perfect. We'll just see one more idea of how we can draw this and see how they're different or see how they're the same. It just takes a second on this to do a color balance and also... Okay, so show how they're different, or tell how they're different.
Yeah, that's the large one. When it rains, I kind of like can imagine the sound waves inside the bar. Like for the larger one, it kind of has a bigger sound wave, and it's bigger, and the small one has like a tighter sound wave, like a stronger and higher pitch, so it goes faster in the sound.
Okay, so the high one you're saying is going faster.
Yes, and it's like bouncing really fast.
Okay, and it has short sound waves.
That's just the sound wave.
Okay. Any questions about these or any comments? No? Okay, thanks. I want to show you one thing that I saw in a couple people's drawings. This is another way of showing that same thing. Once it adjusts, you'll see what we're talking about here. If we talk about pitch, we can show high pitch and low pitch. What do you notice about the difference between high and low in this drawing? The lower, the compressions are more spread apart. Right? There's more distance between compressions. So the wavelengths are either shorter for the high pitch or the waves are closer together. Okay? So this is shown with imagining how the air particles are compressed and spread apart. Okay. Okay, it looks like most people have finished up here. Now, saw a couple people and I was gonna see if I could get a variety, like maybe 2 people to show their stuff. Jose, will you show how you drew yours, and then I'll have you show yours too, Jordan. We'll see if they look different or the same. And I'll try to zoom it in so we can really see the details here, Jose. We'll talk about number 1, the one with the drawing. Jose, how about this? I'm going to zoom it in, and then you can explain what you're showing. Oops. Let's see. I'll focus.
Oh, so the longer one is vibrating and it vibrates slower, so the air particles move slower, so they're farther apart, which means that the sound waves are farther apart too, and the shorter one is vibrates faster, which means the waves are closer together or smaller, which means that it has a higher pitch sound.
Now, I couldn't help but noticing, Jose, that you also drew that other type of wave, the transverse wave.
Yeah.
What are you thinking there?
Oh, because the wave is wider, that means it's lower pitched. But if it's narrower, it means that it's higher pitched.
Okay. Now, do you guys notice how he has the trough and the crest lined up with certain things in both drawings? The trough lines up with which part?
They're
The trough is this. Yeah, the trough lines up with the rarefactions and the crest lines up with the compressions. Nice. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen that be combined. I saw it in somewhere else. Where'd you think of this from? In the readings? Did you see it in the readings at all?
well, it was kind of like the Rubik's Cube,
Okay.
the particles at the bottom.
Okay. All right. So, Jordan, you want to show yours? Same thing? Okay, how about this? Do you feel like it's enough different to warrant showing it? Because otherwise, what I can do is I can have somebody else that showed something similar, but in a different style, they can show that. I do. Okay, yeah. Bye. Hey, Jordan. That's so I was like, Okay, how about this? Would anybody else like to show their drawing? I was going to have somebody that maybe showed it in a different way. Did anybody show it as like lines, more like a slinky? You want to show yours, Lucho? And then I'll go on to explain what we're going to do here in class. Alright, I'll turn it here and then you can...
Okay. There we go. This is just like a slinky. When there's like a higher pitch, the wavelengths are close together, and when it's lower pitch, they're further apart. So I basically showed that here. That's about it. Just like the slinky.
Any questions?
Questions, comments, concerns?
I'm really concerned yet.
Oh, they have different intensities. They have different intensities.
Explain, please.
The loudness, because they're
The size.
the loud are like spread out, which means that they have a lower intensity.
So you're saying, Jose, that the low pitched
Yeah.
tune has less
Volume.
volume,
Yeah.
and it's shown because
It's spread out.
the lines here that show the compressions are more spread out.
Yeah.
Good comment. So
Well, what if you have a low pitched sound that is like very loud?
then you would have the same spacing between compressions, but you would have a lot more in that compression.
Okay.
So that compression would be greater. Yeah. No, Jose brought up volume.
No, like what you said, they're all working louder,
Yeah. You'd be showing volume by that. Or, like, I was mentioning it, intensity. Right, so, thank you guys. Thanks for showing that. So, what I want to do then is just go ahead and show you what we're going to work on today. As individuals, you guys are going to work on one last explanation of how you understand sound. So, if I can have everybody just look up front real quick. Yep, and here's the deal. I think I can see what groups as a whole understand. This will be your chance to show individually what you've got from the last week and a half or so of work. So, everyone's going to get this packet, and this is what it says at the top. And you're going to have to bear with me on this one. It says, Gina and Jill are at a concert for their favorite musician, Pink, but they got seats in two very different locations. Gina got a front row seat, and Jill got a seat near the back row. So if we take a look at the photo here, see where Gina's at? She's right up there in the front row. She's singing along, she's having fun. She's real close. Jill, she got her tickets on one of those places that you can get like bargain tickets. She didn't know where she was going to be sitting, but she didn't want to pay a lot of money. So she's back here. Yeah, well, here's the thing that you're going to do for this. There's Gina. We're going to talk about her experience, and then we're going to compare that to Jill. And there's a number of different things here underneath the list that you're going to provide in your explanation. I know it's hard to see, so at this point I just want to have each person have one in front of them.
Some kind of drawing sound waves and stuff of it. All of it.
That's not all we do.
Oh, drawing sound waves and explaining. Sorry.
Okay. It's alright to be frustrated if you're getting tired of it, but you gotta just maintain for this last. Okay, the thing I want to draw your attention to before you set to work on this on your own is it says, in your explanation of each person's experience, include the following. And like we did yesterday, we have a checklist of things that I want you to do. A couple of them have a two-part direction, so make sure you read through it entirely. Both people are going to have descriptions of what they experienced, and that's on the back. So flip it over to the back. You have a place to draw. You have a place for an explanation. I'm available for help. Your group members and your neighbors aren't for this one. So I'll be coming around to make sure you understand it, make sure you understand what I'm asking you, and that you're not stuck on something that's going to keep you from finishing this, and I'll move around and talk to you as we go through this, okay? If you have any questions right now, everyone has pencil or pen to draw with, write with?
Do we have to use evidence from all the buckets or just the ones that are?
Where's the
Oh, we have to do.
I've included it, and I'm glad you pointed this out, Leah, that I did ask you to include evidence from the evidence buckets. Now this time I didn't say every one of them. And I'm just saying include some evidence to strengthen your answers, okay? And this is showing your way of knowing. We talked yesterday, you could say, I know this from this experience, or I know this because. Those are the ways you can kind of include that evidence or those examples into your writing, okay? So, I'm going to move around. I'll try to get you something to write with. If anyone at that table has something. Oh, awesome. In the better picture, you can see the speakers are up in front. Okay. You guys, Tyler and I were just talking about this. If it makes any difference to what you're thinking on this, how many people, first of all, have been to a large concert at an arena? Okay. Do you remember where a lot of times the speakers are at?
They have to be at the side, on that side.
Okay, they could be on either side of the stage, but they're generally located up front. The majority of speakers are located up front. So in this situation, think of the speakers and the sound walls being both right and left of the stage, but up front, okay? So, any questions on this? Actually, I'm here for your help. She might be very good help on this. What can I help you with? Do you want to read through it together? Let me grab that chair behind you. I'll pull up and we can look at this, okay? Let me check down here and I'll come back. Okay, start.
How loud is like the drum? Is it including like all the part? Like does it include the bass, the snare?
Just drums in general.
Just drum.
You know, whenever you hear you hear somebody do a drum solo, you might hear a number of different sounds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
But,
which one should I concentrate on? The bass or the snare?
Um,
I don't know.
with this, I'm really wanting you to just think about the volume or how loud they are. So, you need to just think of the drums in general when you think of the loudness.
Like a drum set?
The drum set.
Yeah, I just didn't know how to draw. Like, kind of confusing.
Okay. And you know what you could do on here is this with the drawing here. All you're really needing to do is include a drawing of what the sound wave might look like. You don't have to show it coming from a drum. Okay. You can just show
So
what
we
the
like draw
sound
a song wave and then like right here we write bass guitar and then draw a song wave.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
Waves in general, it doesn't matter.
You know, I think on this first one, I didn't say which. It's on that, if you show me one way, I'll know that you know.
Okay.
So if it's in kind of like the line drawing with like, I think you have it like how we did with the slinky, that's fine. Or if you wanted to do it with the air, it's your choice.